right, Mo, is there an unwritten rule on how old you should be to get into the club?
Yes. So Candy Burris, who some of you may know from the group Escape, some of you may know from Real Housewives, was having this debate with her husband, Todd, about his habits in going to the club. And I was curious as to how the women would feel, especially the married women on the show, about this, because I do feel like there's always been like this unwritten rule about men who go to clubs. One being, are you supposed to behave differently as a married man? Like, are you supposed to come home earlier? Are you supposed to not be out as much? And then even in age, like I feel like people judge you when you get at a certain age as a man. If you're in your 30s, if you're in your 40s, there are men who still like to go to the club. And that's what this conversation was about. And they're in a barbershop. And I guess he not only goes out, he likes to actually close the club down. And she feels like at a certain age, and when you're a married man, you should not be closing the clubs down, even if you're still going to the club.
This next spot. So why is there a big deal? Like, you know I'm okay.
Right before you pull up to a bitch house, trying to make it seem like you ain't doing nothing.
But you checking my location, so you know I'm at no chick's house. Unless the chick lives at the club, or lives at Magic City, or lives at a restaurant.
You said what?
The champagne room.
Oh my God.
I just feel like there's no reason why you should be at a club and be the last person in there. Like, there's no reason that the club should be getting shut down, lights turned on, and you still last one there all the time.
So he feels like because you have my location, and he also said that when he's at the club shutting it down, it's not necessarily because he's just there like dancing with his friends. It's because he knows the people there, and sometimes he talks after the club actually closes and they start cleaning. That's when he can actually hang out with his friends. But she feels like it doesn't matter. You're a married man and you should not be at the club when the club shuts down, and you should not be coming home that late, even if I do have your location.
I mean, perception's reality. It's not a good look. Like, if you're the married man, I mean, I have no problem because, like, moms have their mom's night out, and we have said time and time again that when moms go out, we lose our ever-loving minds. And so we go to the club, we go dancing, we have a good time. So just because you're married and have kids doesn't mean you can't go out and have a good time with your friends, right? But to be the last person there as it closes down, to me, what it screams in this, like I said, this is a major assumption on my part, but I'm like, how miserable is your life at home that you don't want to go home and you want to stay here till the club closes down?
That's fair.
Like that's what in my head. Like, wow, you're still here, huh? Because for me, it's like, you really don't want to go home, do you? Right?
No, you're not wrong. Because when I go out with like my group of guys, we always have this joke that it's always like the guys that are either married or in relationships that never want the night to end.
Right.
Like the single guys are usually the ones that are like, yo, I'm ready to go home. Like, I'm tired. But the guys that are in relate, they're like, no, we can do this all night.
Because I feel like they don't get their freedom. Like, I'm listening to that conversation and I'm like, no wonder dudes hate the idea of getting married if you're not allowed to live your life anymore. Like, that would suck. I don't care. If it's every night, we have a problem. If it's every weekend even and we're not spending time together, we have a problem. But if you go to the club with your friends, I do not care. Stay out and have a good time.
No, nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
But even if you have his location, because that was his thing. Like, you know where I'm at. It's not like you don't have my location. So I get coming home at 4 a.m. might be bothersome, but you know where I am. But
no, in this situation, because he said he's staying because after they close down, his friends own the club, promoters, whatever, he's actually able to have conversations. Well, they have offices. They have so, you have access to other rooms at the club. It doesn't mean something bad can't go down at the club.
I get what you're saying.
Because I know there's back rooms.
Yes, there are. There certainly are.
Would you be mad? So imagine you're married and your man goes out to the club and doesn't get home till after it closes down.
It depends on the frequency. To me, that's the sticking point here. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with every now and then having a rager with your friends, going out, taking shots, like living life like it's the old days. But when I see videos of like Leo DiCaprio, for example, out in Miami for the 50th time with some 20-year-old, it's a little icky to look at that because it does seem like this club thing seems like it's kind of filling a void for you. So to me, if it feels more of like a bad habit rather than just like an every now and then once in a blue moon fun time, that to me is where the difference is and what would be an issue for me.
The Bert Show.